Hi, this is Chatterboxing. I'm Sean, and I want to talk quickly about Deontay Wilder, Luis Ortiz, the situation. I haven't heard anything about this fight. Starting to get a little bit concerned. I don't really know what's going on. Now, I'm hoping that it's purely a case of they're just hammering out the financial details and just sorting out who gets what. I'm hoping that's all it is. Because there are a couple of things that slightly concern me that mean that it's possible that the fight might not happen. First of which, Luis Ortiz is the mandatory challenger to Anthony Joshua. So it must at least have entered his and his team's head that fighting against Deontay Wilder could potentially jeopardise the fight against Joshua. Joshua is obviously for 2 belts, a lot more money, and most people consider him the number 1 in the division. Wilder probably number 2. So it's a bigger fight on every level. That's true, and that's something that obviously they're going to be thinking about and they're going to be very aware of. Now, I'm not saying that that's my motivation for anything, or that I sort of care, and my main focus is like what Luis Ortiz earns. Do you know what I mean? It's of no interest really to me, but it is the reality, and it's a factor when talking about what's going to happen. So that's something that slightly concerns me. If that did happen, if he did just say, "Oh no, like I'm going to turn down a Wilder fight and just sort of concentrate on the Anthony Joshua fight," then personally I would be very, very disappointed, and I would lose a lot of respect for Luis Ortiz. Because although I can understand how it makes sense, like financially on one hand, it's still basically avoiding a tough challenge to kind of protect yourself, to have a better opportunity at something else. Now, some people do that in boxing all the time. I mean, Deontay Wilder, has surely done that himself on many occasions. But Luis Ortiz has basically talked a big game for years. He's been going around saying, everyone's scared of me, everyone's ducking me, Wilder's a pussy, Joshua's nothing. He just talks a lot, and I see his interviews. I speak Spanish, so I listen to him. I listen to his translator. I see the statements that his team put out, and there's quite a lot of sort of smugness. They seem like quite impressed with themselves. You know what I mean? All this sort of I'm the big bad man. Everyone's scared of me. There's been a lot of that. So if he does decide to turn down an opportunity to fight for the WBC title against a very credible opponent because he doesn't, because he wants to make more money, then I won't be impressed at all, and I think he'll look like a right mug, and he'll look like a real hypocrite, because he's been going around saying everyone's scared, everyone's ducking me. Well, basically, mate, people have been taking on what they consider to be a better option, all things considered. Do you know what I mean? So if he goes and does the same thing, then I won't be very impressed, and I'll lose a lot of respect for him. And I've been a supporter of Luis Ortiz, and I like him as a fighter. When he wanted to fight Wilder, the Warsack thing, when Warsack got done for drugs, I said that I didn't say that Wilder ducked him, but I thought that Wilder missed out on an opportunity there to really prove himself. I think he definitely, if this Wilder fight hadn't been on the cards, then I would definitely think, after Pulev, he deserves his mandatory shot. So I've supported Luis Ortiz, and I like him. But if he does that, then I'll be very, very unimpressed. Not saying he's going to do that. I mean, this is pure speculation. I'm not certainly not going to condemn anyone before all the evidence has been put before the court of chatterboxing. Do you know what I mean? But that's something that potentially could happen. Now, in terms of whether Wilder could avoid the fight, if you look at the past behaviour, and if you look at his track record, then there's definitely quite a big possibility of him doing that. But I think in the current climate, in the current situation, I don't think so. I think Wilder needs Ortiz now more than anything. I think, especially the rise of Anthony Joshua recently has really motivated Wilder in various ways to sort of up his game. I think the fact that they paid step-aside money to Stavern means, to me, that's a show of intent. So well, just looking at it now, if anyone was going to like stop this fight from happening, I think it would probably more likely be Luis Ortiz, all things considered. That said, I'm not going to commit to any kind of theory or start, accusing people of this, that, and the other. We'll just see what happens, and then we'll sort of look at it as it pans out. But just speculating from now, I think that's going to be more likely to be the case. Just because I think he's got that option on the table. If Wilder doesn't fight Ortiz, then he's going to look very silly, isn't he? I mean, what's he going to do instead? And people will really, point the finger at him. So I don't think he would. The other possibility is Al Heyman. Now, does Al Heyman want to put Ortiz and Wilder in together? I mean, I'd be interested to hear people's thoughts on this. I know he's paid step-aside money to Bermane Stavern, but that could be because literally nobody wanted to see it, purely like financially. Like he could have gone to Showtime, HBO, I don't know what the other, ESPN. I mean, I don't know what the other channels are there in America, and everybody's just like, nah, mate, not interested in that. So he's thinking like, well, literally, we've got to get rid of this Stavern fight. That's like not an option at all. But at the same time, I don't really want to put Ortiz and Wilder in there together because I've got both of them in position to potentially knock Anthony Joshua off his spot. And Hearn and Heyman are two big rivals in world boxing at the moment. They're two sort of, to a certain extent, I mean, they've been around for a while, but like up and coming. Do you know what I mean? When I say up and coming, it's not the right word, but they're two promoters who are, in the ascendancy. So he could be thinking, well, Luis Ortiz is going to be the mandatory for Anthony Joshua next. I'd like to see him try and knock off Joshua. If that doesn't work, I've got Wilder. Do you know what I mean? So if I put them two together, then there's a potential that I've just kind of halved my strength in terms of getting rid of Joshua. I mean, this is all speculation on my part here, obviously at this stage, but yeah, we'll just have to see what happens. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And yeah, that's it really. I just wanted to say a few things on it, and we'll just have to wait and see what happens. So thank you very much for watching.